25 at 32%. A big Johnson's. Hey, yo, yeah, they Paul after that. A big Johnson fan base. Women over 25. Hey, that's true. Women over 25 love themselves a big Johnson, don't they? Hello, all you awesome people out there. Welcome back with me to the channel. I fucked up the intro, but act like I said that kind of correctly. But welcome back to the channel with me, as always, your host, Geek Viz. Who? Let me get my music playing. Get the music started right there. So yeah, with me as always, your host, Geek Viz Hoove, and I know it's been a minute. We didn't do anything last week because it was just kind of I don't know. It's just getting kind of crazy. We had some holiday shit, so it was just like, eventually I didn't get to it. But then video games kind of took over everything. But we are back with our news of the week here. We're going to be covering our movie news for this week. This was going to be a little bit different. Is this way? This is super quiet. This one we're gonna be doing things a little differently here. Maybe be a little bit more faster, a little bit more choppy, not choppy. Try to just kind of get through it, kind of breeze through it a little bit. Focus on like maybe 2 news stories, and then we'll just kind of briefly go over some smaller news stories. But kind of a new way I think, and I kind of want to approach these from this point on. But yeah, so this is the movie news. We're gonna cover everything from about last week, including last week's box office results, as well as this week's for Sunday, as today is July 12th. That is Sunday, so if anything happens tomorrow before this comes out or when this comes out, just know it's because I didn't get to it, because it happened after I did this video. All right, but anyway, let's go over and talk about what's going to be happening here in this episode of News Drop, as my fucking chair was doing just fine. And now we're sinking. Great. This is great. So everything I'm talking about here, like I said, we're gonna be mentioning last week's box office results as well as this week's box office results. We got to talk about the probably the biggest news in terms of the fucking box office from last week, which is the reception from Supergirl. We're gonna be talking about that, but we got some updates on the Harold and Kumar movies, as well as Josh Gad joining the brand new Oceans movie. We also got to talk about Sacha Baron Cohen has secretly finished up his next movie, so we're gonna go over what that is. We got some new images and the poster for Dune Part 3. We got the first reactions to Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, and then we got the Backrooms home video release, and then we got we're gonna look at the first the first poster for Avengers Doomsday that just came out. So we're gonna look at that and kind of go over that. And then of course, as always, at the very end, we're gonna be talking about some trailers. So that's everything I'll be discussing here in this news drop. So let's go ahead and transition as I fuck around with my chair. Yeah. Again, but let's talk about it. Box office results. This is from last week before we get to this week's. So last week's Minions and Monsters apparently did not make as much as projections thought. Franchise low $61 million debut, and then Supergirl suffered a brutal 77% drop off. Although Minions and Monsters, a 1920s Hollywood set prequel and Universal and Illumination's Despicable Me franchise, led the box office over the 4th of July weekend, the well-received family film didn't set off fireworks. It opened way behind projections at $36 million from about 4,000 plus theaters between Friday and Monday, and $61 million since Wednesday. Heading into the weekend, Minions and Monsters was aiming for $80 million over the 5-day frame. Initial sales are a huge drop from its franchise predecessors and rank as the lowest start in the franchise, below even the original 2010's Despicable Me, which managed to earn $56 million. Ooh. Over the traditional weekend, while introducing the yellow pill shake cast of the world. I think people forget just how long the fucking Despicable Me and the goddamn Minions have been around. They've been around for a long time. So to kind of hear that, The franchise might be hitting a little bit of a low point, might be running out a little bit of steam. I'm not surprised, especially when you got other animated hits. Toy Story is still in theaters as well, so they had the competition from that too. I ain't gonna lie, I never knew what the appeal of these little yellow mumbling motherfuckers was. I don't remember what the last one to come out was, but I do think especially like social media, you think around that whole time when like the memes were being shared, but it was all from like fucking old people on fucking Facebook and shit, and I feel like that might have kind of stained the reputation a little bit as well. Box office watchers anticipated a softer turnout across the industry over the holiday weekend since the fourth landed on a Saturday. So, it really wouldn't offer, it was a Saturday, so people were out grilling as opposed to it being on like a Monday or the Friday when, it frees up the whole weekend to do some stuff. They assume that instead of going to theaters on the biggest day of the week for moviegoers, yacht people would attend barbecuing and the fireworks and then America's 250. Historically, the holiday celebrates all things American, can account for 150 million to 200 million at the box office. This year's ticket sales top out at roughly 121. That likely accounted for some drop-off, but that doesn't explain a massive opening weekend decline from the franchise's two most recent entries. 2022 spin-off sequel Minions Rise of Gru and 2024's Despicable Me 2, so the last one was 2 years ago, and that was the mainline one, which launched a 123 mil and 122 mil respectively over that same day holiday. After all, families didn't totally avoid the big screen. Toy Story 5 earned almost as much over Friday to Sunday stretch, with a 31 million from a little under 4,000 theaters in its third weekend. Disney and Pixar's kid-friendly film was number 2 at the box office, and grosses were boosted to 366 million in North America and 764 million worldwide. So, Minions and Monsters has been received positively from audiences and critics, but the disappointing domestic figures suggest the franchise is overexploited. 7 movies across 16 years. The property is averaging a new adventure about every 2 years. That's a contrast to Toy Story, which has been benefited from scarcity. I agree. I do think that's an aspect of shit people tend to forget. If you flood the market, it gives people way a faster chance to get tired of you. Meanwhile, if you pop up a little less and you do scarcity, when you pop up, it creates even more buzz because it's not something you get all the time. Like, I remember when Toy Story 3 was coming out, I was a fucking senior in high school, you know what I mean? And then, like, even people in my age range on that cusp of adulthood were super excited to go see Toy Story 3 because it had been, fucking 10 damn years since Toy Story 2 came out. So I do agree that scarcity does have a thing. And of course, when you flood the market, it's very easy to get overexposed and people get tired of it. And that's kind of what I was saying too. I feel like the franchise has been around for a long time. They've had a lot of movies, and I feel like eventually people just, it kind of loses its luster. Especially when you think of the fact that because you've been around so much, your audience, as they grow, never tire of you. You know what I mean? Like I mentioned with Toy Story. The first one came out in the 90s when I was a kid. Then I was quite a bit older, probably like my early teens, preteen, when the second one dropped. And then the third one dropped when I was about to leave high school. And, the fourth one came out when I was college age. And now here's a fifth one. I'm in like my early 30s and the fifth one just came out. So it's always something where it's like, oh, damn, Toy Story. Damn, they're making a new one. Granted, I feel differently about this fifth one. But it's like, oh, damn, maybe I should see it. Granted, it might even be different if I had kids. Because then it's like, oh, now my kids can experience the experience I had when I was a kid, seeing that first Toy Story. Meanwhile, you got a Minions when you're growing up. You got a Minions when you're a kid. Then there's another one when you're a kid. Then there's another one when you're a teenager. Then there's a spinoff when you're preteen. And eventually it just loses its luster. Also, again, I will admit, the Minions, again, they're very they're meant for a younger generation. Like, unlike Toy Story, they don't really grow with the audience. You know what I mean? They retain that simple humor throughout their whole thing. And I think that has a thing too, because like it was a time where, like, sure, you know, that works, but I feel like now it might be, you know, it might just be the fact that their time is just over for that sort of, for the, you know, for the style of humor they provide. Even though audience and critics seem to give it good reviews, but that likely accounted for some drop off. Oh wait, I read this one already, but 7 installments is further than any animation series is gone. Audiences are showing fatigue now, says David A. Gross, who publishes the box office newsletter, Franchise Read. The movies will be profitable, but it is a misfire. It's like the Fantastic Four, the Fast and Furious movies. Oh yeah, they had a time, but eventually that shit just kind of wears off. And there's nothing that makes it special anymore, because now it's been around for so long and it's been done so many times. Nothing makes it special. Meanwhile, Toy Story comes around every like 10 plus years. That makes it feel special. There is good news for Universal and Illumination, though. The two companies behind the hit, Minions and Monsters, is a hit internationally with the box office at 80 million. Yeah, if I remember correctly, this shit is always, the Minions have always been huge in China. If I'm remembering correctly, I could be wrong. 80 million, 86 million over the weekend, 98 million to date. It brings the total worldwide to 159.8 million, damn near 60 million. Prior to Despicable Me Adventures, the spinoff had demonstrated notable box office staying power, so Minions and Monsters could stick around throughout the summer despite the slow start. Directed by series co-creator Peter Coffin, it holds the franchise best 91% on Rotten Tomatoes and an A- on CinemaScore exit polls. Okay, so like I said, it has reviewed pretty well. So yeah, so it might have been just timing. Competition with Toy Story dropping right over the 4th of July weekend, but the actual Independence Day was on that Saturday, which would have probably seen it get its most foot traffic and ticket sales. So that probably that's probably just a big thing. The film was produced for 85 million, making it slightly less expensive than prior entry, and which cost around 100 million. So it debuted at the top of the box office on this holiday weekend. Reaction scores once again validate the charm, wit and heart of the most incredible franchise. Elsewhere, though, Supergirl endured a tragic 77% decline with 8.6 million from 3,000 theaters in its sophomore outing. It's below the studio's already low estimate of 9.6 million. It debuted to just 37.1 million, and the WBDC comic adaptation has earned 57.4 million in North America, 99.5 million globally to date. Ooh, this motherfucker ain't even cracked 100 million globally yet. Ooh, that is worrisome. With such a weak turnout underscores the challenges facing the once dominant box office genre of superhero movies, particularly those centered on less known protagonists. I was gonna say, I kind of agree. Spider-Man's about to come out. That shit's gonna break records. I think when Doomsday drops at the end of the year, that shit is also gonna do fucking numbers. So I don't think it's a superhero fucking fatigue. I do agree with the fact that it is because it's Supergirl, a much lesser known character. That probably hurt it. Last year, Superman was a hit. This month, Spider-Man is expected to be enormous, but those films feature A-list heroes. Everyone on the planet knows Clark Kent and Peter Parker. Supergirl and Marvel's Thunderbolts, another recent theatrical misfire, revolved around characters who aren't household names. Given its hefty $170 million budget, Supergirl is projected to lose at least 100 to 125 million. We're gonna read about that. Actually, we'll talk about that later. So Supergirl was number 4. Supergirl's 4. Number 3 was Young Washington. What the fuck is that? Which opened in 3rd with an impressive 19.3 million from 2,000 theaters. The patriotic historical drama, whose release was smartly timed to Independence Day, was backed by faith-based Angel Studios. Oh, it's a fucking Christian historical piece. The company's inspirational films tend to be well received by their target demographic, and Young Washington was no different. The movie, which tells the story of George Washington before the American Revolution and his presidency, earned an A CinemaScore, but is a stark contrast to the 57% from critics on Rotten Tomatoes. A24's comedy The Invite managed to crack the top 10 with 800,000 while playing in just 28 screens. That brings the total haul to 1.36 million over 2 weekends and limited release. With great reviews, the movie's commercial appeal will be tested when it expands nationwide on July 10th. Directed by Olivia Wilde, The Invite stars her and Seth Rogen as a bickering married couple who hosts a dinner party for their far more free-spirited upstairs neighbors. We've been watching the trailer for this. Jackass Best in Last opened last weekend to week ticket sales dropped to number 8 with 2.7 million for 2,855 theaters. I ain't gonna lie, I could have told you that. I feel like the market for a Jackass just is not there anymore. Like, I remember when they first announced this, my first question was why? All these guys, Johnny Knoxville, Steve-O, have been very open about the long time effects all this shit they've done in the Jackass movies and shows has done to their bodies over the years. These niggas are like pushing 50, if not over at this point. You know, like, why do you need to put your body through this shit anymore? That's not really a form. That's not a big entertaining thing. Like, it was big in the 2000s when that college dorm bro kind of humor shit was real popular. But nowadays it's really not. So it faced a harsh 68% decline. The R-rated film has generated a paltry 14.6 million domestic and 20 million worldwide. So it'll almost certainly wind up as the lowest grossing installment of the films. However, Jackass 5 cost just 10 million to produce, so it doesn't need that much coinage to get out of the red. Yeah, like I said, I would have expected this to not do well in theaters. Like I said, it's just, nobody's really checking for Jackass anymore. Everybody who was into this shit is probably like in their fucking, mid to late 30s, 40s now and shit. And they're like me, they're all grown. So now, when they see them putting their bodies through this shit, it's less funny. Now it's more just like, oh my gosh. Like, you just now it's not funny for the sake of another person's pain. Now you're just worried about a motherfucker. Now you just worry about them. Although Hollywood has enjoyed the best summer since COVID, this weekend is a setback in terms of recovery. At the end of June, popcorn season was 17% ahead at the same point in 2025 and 1.7 behind 2019. Now the summer stretch is 11.9 above 2025 and 7.25 behind 2019. Meanwhile, the year-to-date box office is up 13% from last year, 16 behind 2019. Next weekend brings another family film with Moana, while Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey and Spider-Man are poised to close out July with a bang. And I'm not gonna lie, this is probably gonna be the weekend that gets me back out to theaters that weekend. Actually, I got something happening, so it's probably gonna be like the weekend of the top of August. That second weekend. So so there is your box office for last week. What was it? Minions and Monsters, Toy Story 5, Young Washington, Supergirl, and then The Invite and Jackass Best in Last for the top films. Let's talk about what is on store for this current upcoming weekend, with Moana releasing in theaters, but unfortunately, it seems Moana misfires at 43 million opening and looks to horizon with an A- cinema score. Again, I feel so weird about these cinema scores for these live-action adaptations of. We know it's good. We saw the animated movie. We know the story is good. The bones of which it's built on are fucking solid. So, like, a good score doesn't really mean too much for me. Because it's my whole issue with these live action. It's like, what are you doing differently to truly justify it? But here we go. And this is written Sunday morning, so of course things could change by the time we get to it. So things could change by the time we get to Sunday, night and Monday morning. But Disney's live action Moana didn't catch a wave Saturday when most families came out, crashing to the shore this weekend with 43 million opening and an even worse result around the world with 95 million. Far below the 130 million worldwide it hoped for. Oh, damn. That is well below. Stateside, the result is among the weakest for a Disney live-action redo, down there with Snow White and Dumbo. And what's mind-boggling is that Moana had no controversy, just like a la the former, very vocal star Renee Zegler for Snow White. Typically, when Disney brings the old stuff, they mean the pre-Katzenberg animation from the 80s and 90s, into the flesh on screen, the results are lackluster. But this is truly upsetting for the studio to see the live-action version of what is one of their most popular franchises. Yeah, fucking Moana 2 made like $1 billion fucking dollars. But you know what the problem, the issue is? Moana 2 dropped just last year, didn't it? 2024, it was 2 years ago. But yeah, it was late November. So yeah, damn near was about a year ago. Because it came out late. It came out late last year. It came out in November of 2024. So you know, it's there to stay. Probably did extend into January of that year. So that's probably an issue too. Moana 2 just fucking came out, and now we got this live action mode. That's again, just like we talked about with Minions and Toy Story. If you oversaturate your market, you could see deviating returns. They hope that if any, that the A- cinema score creates some sort of word of mouth win to drive people into theaters midweek for the latest Dwayne Johnson movie. As the testosterone fuel, Christopher. I was just going to say, and then you also got to think, fucking the Odyssey's coming out, and then after that Spider-Man's coming out. So it's going to be it's going to be some big competition. With the testosterone fuel Odyssey coming out on Friday, Moana earned an overall of A with women and A+ with the demo under 18. More audience stats show that while the overall definitive recommended on-screen engine track my post, goddamn, is a good 63% definite recommended for all audience for an overall audience. Women over 25 and women overall are over the moon about The Rock and with a definite recommend of 78% and 70% respectively for Moana. I'm guessing that was what they got for the animated. It's a true WTF moment for the box office to a certain degree. Tracky was bullish with a 70 to 80 million opening earlier this week, with pre-sales of 4 million pointing to a 60 million plus start. And then this happened. More than anything, the shortfall here with Moana stateside boils down to timing, plain and simple. Wrong date, wrong year for this in-the-flesh take of what is one of Disney's most popular animated franchise. And definitely too close to its predecessor, Moana 2, I just fucking said that. Which was in theaters less than 2 years ago with $1 million global result. And I just said that, Moana 2 made $1 billion fucking dollars. It's the third family film less than a month after the huge story, and Toy Story just came out, and then we just talked about Minions and Monsters, so now you got this third family-focused movie out, and again, look at the fucking state of the economy nowadays. You think families got the money to afford to see all three of these movies? You'll be lucky to get them out to see 2. You'll be lucky to get them out to see 2. And so they probably only focused on 1, and it seemed like the one everybody focused on was Toy Story. Because even they said Minions and Monsters, we just read, Minions and Monsters didn't do well either. Both titles are fierce competition for Mario and Moana, even though Gru's history posted the lowest opening in franchise history. They're having an excellent hold of a minus 45% for its second weekend, so it didn't fall off a cliff. While Toy Story in its fourth weekend is feeling a strong 18.5, not far from that 20.9 fourth frame of Toy Story 4. Jesus. So Toy Story is eating their fucking food off the plate. That's the problem. And it's even crazier is they're both Disney too. Disney might have cannibalized themselves a little bit here. No doubt moviegoers love Moana, but again, this is the third family film of late, and they just watched Moana 2. So why is there a need to rush out to see the live action version this weekend? It's summer, and they can catch it during the week or later as the next family title, which is significantly younger skewing. Toddler title, they got Paw Patrol, which is coming out in August. It's clear that the Moana faithfuls who showed up haven't completely rejected the film. Critics cried over the live-action Moana being a paint-by-numbers adaptation of the original. That's another problem. While there's only one new song from Lin-Manuel Miranda, the end credit ditty along the way. Note when it comes to a precise IP like Moana, filmmakers intentionally didn't take a big swing in the narrative, adding extra scenes and dance numbers. Doing so would have ticked fans off, and that was never in the cards. And I think that's the massive problem. The massive problem with with these live action adaptations. It's like, what can you do to be different? You make it too different, you're gonna piss off the audience. But you make it too much of the same thing, you're gonna bore the audience. It probably piss them off too, because then they spend money to go see this ticket to see it in theaters when they could just stay at home and watch the fucking animated movie on Disney Plus or something. Damn, I should have had an apple. Mouth is drying real quick. So what did Disney date Moana here? So close to Toy Story 5 and Minions too. Remember, the period following July 4th is quite rich. The launch pad to movies such as Pirates and Spider-Man Homecoming last year. We had James Gunn's Superman. Last year we had James Gunn's Superman, which led the frame to 201 million. This weekend, the entire marketplace is down 38% due to Moana's misfire. There aren't any major studio releases on the 24th, the weekend after the Odyssey, which is coming out on the 17th, and before Spider-Man on the 31st. Damn, so they saying, like, y'all could have picked the weekend of the 24th. You would have coming off the Odyssey and before Spider-Man. You might have a better chance. However, Disney didn't want to be on the weekend of the 24th and 26th. They didn't want to be squashed between what could arguably be the two biggest openings of 2026, and they didn't want to be anywhere near Brand New Day in August. Oh, so you mean they didn't want to go anywhere near Brand New Day because they didn't want to I don't know, cannibalize themselves in the theaters by putting two movies too close together? Oh wow, oh yeah, good plan to Disney. Better to play Into the Storm and be the alternative option. That was thinking. Live action Moana, you'll remember, was announced by Johnson and Disney CEO Bob Iger during the annual shareholders meeting in April 2023. Iger and Alan Bergman in a complete "what a great idea" then flipped Disney Plus Moana animated series into a feature sequel. Then that revamp was announced in February for Thanksgiving. Oh, so they were planning Moana 2 was supposed to be a series, but then they said, "Fuck it, let's make this a movie." I mean, that bet fucking won. It made $1 billion. Disney urgently needed a title on the release schedule, and they got one. Yeah, they made $1 billion. As such, the release date for the live action was moved from July 2nd, 2025 to June 27th, 2025. To finally this weekend, the last release date change was made in April. It was originally intended for a Moana to start before the 2023 strikes, but it got pushed to July 24 for a 6-month shoot in Hawaii and a water tank shoot in Georgia. They're just saying what kind of led to it being at that date. Other big stats: Moana women showed up 62%, led by women over 25 at 32%. A Big Johnson's. Hey, yo, yeah, they Paul after that. A Big Johnson fan base. women over 25. Hey, that's true. Women over 25 love themselves a Big Johnson, don't they? And 31% for women under 25. Walk-up business was about 58% versus say the 51 on the first Friday for Supergirl. The largest demo was 18 to 24 at 30, and with the 18 to 34 rip bumping to 55%. Let's see, Latinos and Asians led at 32, 31 Caucasian, 16 Black, 13 Asian American, 8% Native American. I don't know, do they count the, to say, are Latinos and Hispanics, do they just count those as the fucking, Samoan and, Polynesian? Kind of crazy, you think they would be the biggest returns from this movie. Then we're just talking about some other shit. Let's talk about what else is up in the top 10. New Line's Evil Dead Burned is 6.7 million stateside Friday, including previews, and 4 million on Saturday, descending down to 13.7 million. That's negative 44% off the opening of Evil Dead Rises. Very good, 24.5 million. Pick CineScore, despite a different director here in Sebastian Vanek, gets a B score a la the previous installment from Lee Corman. The R-rated movie skews men at 59%, with a 24 to 34 demo being the biggest at 39. Diverse turnout was mostly Caucasians and Latinos and Hispanics, 17% Black, 5% Asian. PLS are driving 18% of the weekend tickets. Yeah, whatever. A24's Annapurna's Olivia Duval directed and starring adult sex comedy The Invite expanded from 28 sites to 1,000, and have us. They did mention that it's going to be coming out wide release this weekend. A solid Saturday hold with 1.8 million in relation to its 2.47 million Friday, which is now delivering a 5.7 million weekend. There are some good numbers in Toronto, LA, New York, San Francisco, Austin, Nashville, Vancouver, and Phoenix. Better news, solid, a definite recommended at 69 nice percent. 4.5 stars, 89% positive. So good good reviews come from them. Positives with men overall excited at 74%, definite recommended, and men over 25 even more enthralled at 76% definite recommend on post tracks. Hey, you got you got a little something here about it. You know, you got Olivia Wilde, and and if you like, if you like them a little bit more spicy, you got Penelope Cruz. So there you go. Alright, so here we go. Here is our charts looking at so far. This is from Sunday. Of course, like I said, things could change at the end of the day. But Moana is looking at number 1. Memes and Monsters comes in at number 2. With only a 45% follow from last weekend. Toy Story 5 still in the top 3 in its 4th week. Only a 39% drop off. And being in 400 less theaters too. Evil Dead Burn is at number 4. Young Washington still in the top 5 at number 5. Invited 6. Obsession is number 7. Holy shit. Supergirl falls to number 8 in its 3rd week. I ain't gonna lie. The fact that Supergirl is only in its 3rd week and Obsession is in its 9th, and it's being beat out by Obsession in its 9th week. The Invite, a more adult comedy movie. Young Washington, a fucking faith-based historical piece, and then Evil Dead Burn, a horror movie, is being beat out by all of those in only its 3rd week. It's not good. Disclosure Day is at 9. Backrooms is also, holy fucking shit. Backrooms is also still in the top 10. It's in its 7th week. And then Gail Daughtry and the Celebrity Sex Pest. What the fuck is that? Soft result for this Sundance. It's an indie movie. Okay. So there you go. That is your box office report for this weekend and last weekend. Story here is a lot of surprising misses over these last 3 weeks now. Supergirl, Memes and Monsters, and now Moana. 3 movies that came out in 3 separate weekends that were supposed to be these big splashes that didn't do very well. Kind of crazy. But let's talk about Supergirl just a little bit here. So Supergirl is projected to lose about $125 million in the box office. Here they talk about Marvel for some reason. Kevin Feige once said back in 2017 at a Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 presser, when it came to the studio's embrace of deeper character comic book stories like Black Panther and Ant-Man, the biggest risk was not in doing them. The biggest risk would be him doing Iron Man 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. As such, the revived DC Studios and the Guardians filmmaker James Gunn and Conjuring franchise producer Peter Safran has plans to do exactly that. Not to convene moviegoers onto a diet Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, but rather build secondary DC characters. On one hand, I applaud them for trying to do that, but on the other hand, it's like, motherfucker, y'all got to get off to a good start. Like y'all gotta go in with your strongest foot planted right off rip. And I feel like clearly the easiest thing you do is when you're starting this brand new franchise, this brand new connected cinematic universe stuff, you gotta start with your biggest names. They started with Superman, great, but like you don't go into a Batman, you don't go into a Wonder Woman, not even a Flash or a Green Lantern, none of them. You go with Supergirl. So it took a swing on the graphic novel Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Fans consider it a true grit type story in the Kryptonian subverse. Cost Gunn and Safran's DC dearly. Industry sources are estimating a $125 million loss after $68 million worldwide, $37 million domestic. And all first cycle downstreams and what ancillaries. Am I saying that right? A supplementary or second item, service, or staff member that support the primary function. The term comes from one word. Okay.
Ancillaries.
Just even damn Google sound like a struggle to pronounce that shit.
Ancillaries.
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 It sound like it struggles to say that shit. And first all cycle downstream ancillaries. Warner Brothers sources have told us that the break-even for the Craig Gillespie directed space opera resides in about a $315 million global range, after a reported $170 to $186 million net. Man. So, the comic was based off of was a sophisticated story about Superman's cousin coming out of her drunken stupor to avenge the murders of a young girl's family at the hands of a notorious villain. Clearly, the IP was a significant one-up from the 80s Superman producer Alex Garland's spin-off Supergirl, blah, 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 blah. Let Marvel go OD on the streaming services. Okay, they ain't talking about shit. I'm told Supergirl, adaptation by Hightown actress Anne Noguera, was beloved internally and considered ready to go. What are you talking about? Like Marvel OD on the okay. Pumped out secondary character base. Gunn and Savage made a point to be strict about development and never go into production on a half-written screenplay. That said, I'm told the Supergirl adaptation by Hightown actress Anne Noguera was beloved internally and considered ready to go. So it was one of the scripts that they didn't go with. Coming away from testing, DC knew there were some hurdles ahead. The response to Supergirl was good, not great, and that doesn't fly with any superhero movie today. Yeah, we looked at the reports of the first screening for Supergirl a while back, and yeah, pretty much the universal acclaim was that old girl, the star, Millie Alcock, she was great. They liked the style and the visual style of what the movie was going for, kind of that Mad Max kind of style thing. But overall, it seemed like the general consensus was also that the story itself was also kind of weak. But those were the two strongest things to go in there. Yeah, but like I said, and then we got here, Peter Safran they're still confident that their strategy after Supergirl they're still confident in their strategy after it doesn't work. So remember, I've been saying from the jump, I feel like a lot of the future of this DC universe is going to depend on how Supergirl does. Superman was easy. Superman was a slam dunk. It's Superman. You're going to sell tickets regardless. Of course, how good it is determines how much money it makes and how much money you make beyond that opening weekend. Luckily, Superman was fire, so it did extremely well in the box office. But I always said, this next movie, Supergirl, is really going to determine a lot of things. Because one, it's not a big name. People don't know Supergirl like that. They equate her to Superman very easily because of the name and, you know, the S on the chest and shit. But they don't know Kara Zor-El like that. The general public does not know her like that. So I said it was a big risk. Also, this was not directed by James Gunn, so that was another thing that was interesting to see how that would work. But like I said, a lot of the future is going to depend on this. And now we learn that it was a miss. They're kind of eating an L here. So I think, of course, externally they're going to say everything's fine, they're confident and shit. But I think internally, they're probably definitely going to start moving around and changing and rethinking probably a lot of stuff from this point forward. But like I said, it's very interesting that they didn't go with a Batman or a Wonder Woman, you know, a Green Lantern or anything like that for their second outing in the theaters. So yeah, this was pretty strange. And the fact that the movie seems to be good, but not all that, it's going to get lost in the shuffle. And unfortunately, their second movie out is going to be an L. Luckily, that doesn't mean the whole universe is going to go down at this point. Remember, fucking the second movie in the MCU was goddamn The Incredible Hulk 2008, and that was also an L. And they recovered fine. And they're pretty much doing the exact same thing too. You know, the next movie is the sequel to the first one. We got Superman. Oh, actually, no. Superman is next year. Cause the next movie DC has fucking coming out is fucking Clayface. If Supergirl struggled, I'd be okay. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Internally, I think they'd be panicking because I think if Supergirl didn't work, I think fucking Clayface might be DOA, dead on arrival. Granted, if it has good reviews and a good word of mouth, it might be able to denounce that. Of course, it's also depending on how much money it makes. I feel like Clayface probably definitely will have the much smaller budget compared to Superman and Supergirl. But still, goddamn, man, you're kicking off your new DC universe, and you kick it off with fucking Creature Commandos. Remember the fucking animated series on HBO Max? From what I hear, it's solid, but I don't hear nobody talking about it like that. You go Superman, massive success that's a good move. But then you go Supergirl, and then you go Clayface. And I know there's some issues because you do have Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson's Batman still currently going right now. So that probably, you know, makes some issues of trying to do another Batman movie. But still, you got Wonder Woman, you got Green Lantern, but they're doing that as a show. Shit, actually, now that I think about it, fuck, they might have kind of been, now that I'm thinking about it, they kind of might have been fucked from the jump. Because I was going to say Flash, but we just had Flash in 2019, 2020? We just had this 3 years ago. And y'all gotta remember, general public is pretty much unknowledgeable with shit like this. They probably knew that one and remember hearing this one was really bad, so if they hear another Flash, they probably won't do a lot of digging to discover that it's a whole different universe and it's a whole different movie. They gonna think it's connected to this one. And there might be a sequel to this one or some shit. So yeah, they might have been in bad news from the jump. Because you don't want to do another Batman to confuse between the Batman and whatever you call this Batman. Flash is still fairly new, so you probably didn't want to come out with another one of those. You probably want to give more time for people to forget about the last one. You already went ahead with making Lanterns a show, so now you can't use Green Lantern on the movie. You could, but you don't want to make it the entry because you got the show. Yeah, shit, you should have did a damn Wonder Woman. I don't know. So yeah, just I'm worried. We gotta see how fucking Clayface does, because I know for a fact Clayface is not connected to James Gunn didn't direct this either. There's James Watkins. So yeah, I'm kind of worried about this. Do we know the budget for this? Do we have an estimate of the budget? 40 million. So it has to at least make 80. How much does Supergirl make opening weekend? What was it they say? Supergirl made 37 million opening weekend. So unless Clayface has like some fire-ass trailers and a fire-ass marketing play behind it, I would expect it to make less than Supergirl made. So opening weekend of Clayface, you might be looking at maybe about barely scratching 30 million. I'm a little worried. We gotta pay attention to this when it comes out. It comes out at the end of the year. I think it comes out like October or some shit. Yeah, October 23rd. It is a horror movie, and they're releasing it around horror times, releasing it around Halloween. Maybe that could boost it up, but this motherfucker's gonna have to have some fire marketing behind it and a fire story. It's gonna have to have extremely positive word of mouth coming out of it. So there you go. All right, let's go ahead and blow through these last couple stories. Harold and Kumar 4 finally gets an update. 15 years after Harold and Kumar last graced the big screen, the duo is closer than ever to returning. Speaking to the Cavoy Ferry Film Festival, producers Greg Shapiro provided an update on Harold and Kumar 4. Quote, we're working on screenplay right now for the next Harold and Kumar movie, but everybody's back. The actors, the writers are directing, and hopefully we should be shooting it soon. You know, it's like any movie. It's all got to come together in the right way. So, of course, we got that. Harold and Kumar 4 was officially announced to be in development in 2025. John Cho and Kyle Penn are expected to reprise their roles as Harold and Kumar respectively, but no official deal has been made public. So, hey, well, you know, the little stoner classic might be coming back, so we'll see. Josh Gad, Frozen's Josh Gad joins Margot Robbie and Bradley Cooper on Ocean's 11 prequel. Josh Gad, the actor and singer best known as the voice of Olaf in Frozen, has officially joined the ensemble. His role remains a mystery for now. Gad also appeared in Kenneth Branagh's Murder on the Orient and more recently Wonder Man on Disney+. Sounds like the first name you'd expect in a slick heist picture, but that's precisely what makes this casting so intriguing. Could it be a member of the crew, assembled by Danny Ocean's parents, or could it be playing the bad guy? The prequel is anchored by Margot Robbie and Bradley Cooper. Cooper is pulling triple duty as director, screenwriter, and leading man after stepping in for Ryan Gosling. The lineup keeps growing around them. Wagner Moura will be playing the story's antagonist. Oh, so we already have the villain. So there you go, Josh Gad. You were expected to release on June 25th of 2027. Ali G is set for a cinematic comeback as Sacha Baron Cohen finishes secretly filming his new movie. When high-profile filmmakers manage to make a movie in secret, especially in this day and age, you've got to respect it. But when high-profile filmmakers manage to make a new Ali G movie in secret, well, you've really got it some serious respect. If y'all don't know, Ali G is an old character from like the early 2000s from Sacha Baron Cohen. I think he had like a show on MTV or something. It's very much still in the vein of what you'd expect from a Sacha Baron Cohen movie like Borat, where it's pretty much like a plot, but it's him going out and sort of getting real in-person reactions from just regular ass people as they react to the wild shit he has going on in his movie. Onwards to the comment on Alex's return, and we are currently none the wiser as who might be in line for the Mr. G treatment this time. Yeah, so there you go. I ain't gonna wait too much further. We got some new images for Dune Part 3. We got a poster and some images and behind the scenes images. We also got a trailer. We'll watch that in the trailer section. So here is the zoom out a little bit. So here's the poster. It's looking real nice. And here are a couple images here. We got Javier Bardem. I believe it's Javier Bardem. We got Duncan Idaho, Jason Momoa's character. We got Timothy Chalamet and Zendaya here. Al-Sangai, whatever he said. Florence Pugh we got here. More Atreides. We got Robert Pattinson's character. I gotta watch these fucking movies. I haven't watched them since like 1. And that was forever ago. I feel like Anya Taylor-Joy's in this movie? I didn't know that. There's Zendaya again. Here's some BTS shots. And there you go. Dune Part 3 is set nearly 2 decades after Paul Atreides seized control of the Imperium. Now a ruthless emperor, Paul must face the consequences of his reign as old allies return, terrifying new threats emerge, and the betrayal lurks in every shadow. Haunted by visions of Imperial collapse and the reappearance of his long-lost love, Paul is drawn into a sweeping conspiracy with Chani at the heart of its unfolding mystery. As rebellion brews and enemies close in, Paul must confront the true cost of power and the fate of those he loves most. So yeah, so the whole thing, Timothy Chalamet, Zendaya, Jason Momoa, Florence Pugh, Rebecca Ferguson, Ian the Bankroll. I know that's not how you say it, but for now on, he is now Isaac the Bankroll. Charlotte Rampling, Anya Taylor-Joy, Robert Pattinson, and Javier Bardem. And it's coming out on December 18th, the same day as Avengers Doomsday. We got our first reactions to Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. The Odyssey, his 3-hour version of Homer's epic poem, world premiered in London on Monday night. This was back on fucking, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, back on like the 7th, so that was the 6th. Quote, Christopher Nolan's Odyssey is a colossal origin myth story of post-war delusion and the loss of innocence witnessed by the dread, wrote The Guardian's Peter Bradshaw ahead of the reviews embargo lifting next Wednesday and next Friday. IndieWire editor-at-large Ann Thompson called the film the best picture contender to beat and added that Matt Damon could win Best Actor. My high expectations were met, she added, calling the film stunningly mounted. Multiple pundits described the film as flawless and breathtaking, with others signaling out Robert Pattinson's villainous Antinous for particular praise. Eric Davis called the film, quote, an absolute triumph and a crowning cinematic achievement for one of the great filmmakers of our time. It feels like everything Nolan has been working towards with IMAX has culminated here. The film was shot entirely in IMAX cameras. The production design is incredible, continued Davis. The action is breathtaking and the scale is unlike anything he's done before, but what really surprised me is how much he embraces horror. Some of the film's biggest moments are genuinely unsettling, adding a whole new dimension to his filmmaking while never losing sight of the humanity at the story's core. Davis added that Anne Hathaway is incredible, Matt Damon is excellent, and Tom Holland continues to prove he can do just about anything. But Robert Pattinson absolutely stole the show for me. He's so conniving, manipulative, and endlessly entertaining to watch. He leans all the way into the character's villainy, and its result is one of my favorite performances of his. So there you go. A lot of high universal praise from the first watches of The Odyssey. So now we got Backrooms steps into home theaters next week. The show officially rides on digital. The movie officially rides on digital on Tuesday, July 14th. So there you go. So if you have somehow not seen this movie yet, like me, it's coming to digital on Tuesday, which will be tomorrow by the time this video drops. So there you go. I ain't finna read it. We already seen it. This should still make it back. So there you go. And finally, we have Andy Parkett, who has been the visual development head director for Marvel Studios for a while. I think recently just made a bunch of cuts to the visual effects department, and it seemed like he was one of them. He says Avengers Doomsday is his final film he's worked on as the head of visuals at Marvel. Very sad. Some bullshit from Marvel, because they outsourced their visual effects department. They don't have an in-house one. So it's kind of whack. And they apparently made some cuts. So yeah, the job cuts even affect the movie business, apparently. It's not just video games. So yeah, with that, he admits it was an honor, and it was generally some of the best times he had to work with. And with that, he shared and basically he just shared the image of this poster. I can't fucking I whack the ball again. I ain't doing all that shit. Let me see. Get a better look at it. God damn it. Whatever. So here it is. It's the big image. It has I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. Oh, fuck you. So here we got it. We got this Dr. Doom. We got Chris Evans, Steve Rogers, Chris Hemsworth, Thor. We got Scott Lang, Ant-Man. We got the Avengers, the new Avengers, the Thunderbolts, the motherfucking X-Men at the bottom, Fantastic Four. I love the little jackets they got. We got Captain America, Falcon up here, along with Falcon. It's been so long since we've seen fucking Shang-Chi, but he's here too. And we got Shuri and M'Baku here. So there you go. So here's a little close-up of the first one here. Our best look. Oh shit, Loki's in there. I did not see that nigga right there. Oh shit, we got Loki in there too. So here we go. We got the beams. Okay. I love the beast look. I know it's gonna be more. It's gonna be CG as opposed to the physical makeup and suit he had in the movies. But I like this look here. Mystique, Gambit, Nightcrawler. So glad he's back. Cyclops. So we got the X-Men. Go look at Doctor Doom. It's looking pretty nice. At this side, Captain America, Steve Rogers, retired. Holding Mjolnir, too. Ant-Man, Thor, New Avengers. Poor little Bob all the way there, small in the back. Got the Fantastic Four. I love these little jackets. Like, I'm always a fan of a good uniform jacket, especially if it's leather. But I always love it. Fantastic Four, and then Wakanda's Black Panther, M'Baku, Shang-Chi, Captain America, Sam Wilson up there. So yeah, we got our first little poster for Avengers Doomsday. Crazy thing, this movie is still like only about a good 5 months out at this point, so it's crazy. But anyway, that's it for our news stories, which means it's time we go ahead and get into some trailers. I got a little bit here, not too many. I got eight here. One's pretty short. Two of them are pretty short, actually. But we do have some trailers here. I think one's actually a special look as opposed to a full trailer, too. Or maybe not. Maybe I was wrong. But anywho, we're starting out here with The Wrong Girls. Two codependent best friends living paycheck to paycheck and bong rip to bong rip get caught in a case of mistaken identity that throws their lives into chaos. So let's go ahead and check this out.
Frankie, we should go.
Trying to get us some tunes.
Yeah, it feels like time sensitive.
Well, I know her.
Oh shit!
Oh, yeah. 2 weeks late on rent. We have less than an ounce of weed. Well, what are we gonna do? I don't think we can sell these to people. We don't even know what these do.
Have I ever led you astray? Cheers.
Oh my God, I'm going to report you to PETA for this!
Jesus Christ.
I have no idea why you thought it would be a good idea to take the drugs. You are dumb as rocks, and you should be dead.
You are involved in the most important breakthrough of our time.
Ladies!
Is he talking to us? Are we ladies?
I'm in a bag.
He's touching my hair!
We're very important fugitives. We're runaways. This is you and me, Moles. We're in this together.
I just did that. Oh my God, I'm a witch.
You should think, I wish Oasis would get back together.
Oasis is back together, dude.
How did these girls happen to me?
People are trying to kill us for science.
There are Vikings.
We have
with
telepathy
guns
now.
and cocks.
And we have to go
They
to
want to do
Mexico.
experiments on us because we're special
The
now.
cats are dicks.
That is true.
It reminds me of that other trailer we watched. It was a very trippy, R-rated, like little stoner druggy comedy. What was it called? Pizza something? Pizza Party? Pizza? I don't forget. Whatever that was. We watched it a while ago, but it reminds me a little bit of that. All right, now next we got Hope, the official trailer. What is this? In the remote southern Korean village of Hope Harbor, police chief Burn Seok and officers Sung A are called to find a mysterious creature that wreaked havoc on the village. Oh, I remember we watched the teaser trailer for this. And actually looked dope. In the nearby forest, a coterie of hunters, including Sung Ki, set out to track the beast and find themselves hunted instead. But all is not as it seems, and perceptions can be misleading. What begins as ignorance plants the seed of disaster, escalated through human conflict into a tragedy of cosmic proportions.
아니 도대체 뭐가 이딴 짓을 한 거야?
Yeah, it is that movie. Another neon joint.
예, 여기에 문제가 좀 생겨서 연락드렸어요.
미쳤어.
That fine ass girl from
태상아!
Squid Game season 1.
태상아! 태상아 임마 이 새끼!
it was alright.
뭐예요?
이거는 우리가 아는 종이 아닙니다.
정비 챙겨. 들어가는 거야. 그래. 하나, 둘, 셋. 개새끼 그럴 줄 알았다. 저기 돌려. 쫓아와요. 쫓아와.
Damn. Did that say Alicia Vikander and Michael Fassbender? Oh shit, it does. What the fuck? I didn't see them. This should look fire though. I'm gonna keep this on my put this on a list. Make sure I remember this. This shit looks fire. All right, next up, Godzilla Minus Zero, the little teaser trailer for the next Godzilla movie, the sequel to Minus One. Gojira, which again was fucking.
核攻撃にも耐えるそうですな。それは人間のやっていいことの範疇を超えてる。あんた自分が一体何してるのか分かってんのかよ。
I'm going to see that in theaters this year. I didn't see the first one. I didn't see the first one in theaters. I'm going to go see this one in theaters. The Odyssey. This is a special look at the Odyssey. It's not a trailer, but just a little.
No one could stand between me and home. Not even the gods.
Keep us straight!
This is the first time I've worked with Chris, but I really do feel like this particular picture is an accumulation of all of his skills and all of his experiences and him at his best, going for it. You know, pedal to the metal, like we are gonna make the biggest and most impressive movie that's ever been made.
Chris looked at me and he goes, "This is gonna be a hard movie." And I said, "Yeah, I know." And he goes, "No, this is gonna be a really hard movie." And I was like, "Got it."
Just talking to people about the travel schedule, I mean, he's just decided to shoot like 9 movies in the space of the same, like, as a normal shoot. It's very, very impressive.
A great filmmaker like Christopher Nolan. There's so much pressure, I think I can only imagine, to make something that's bigger, better. The reality is somehow even more fantastic than like what your brain imagines, and that's what I think is so cool about coming to work every day.
The scale of all the sets and the kind of the amount of people involved and even the story we're telling, it's just so large. I think if you stood back and took stock of what's actually going on, you'd be like so overwhelmed by it. But because you've got someone captaining the ship so precisely, it feels like there's a relentlessness to the pace. His ingenuity and the way he trusts his team so that they can come up with great ideas, and the way he guides everyone's role is kind of amazing to watch.
X-Men,
Chris
X-Files show.
has the most unbelievable crew. And I think the depth of those relationships developing over decades, you know, he could see something, request it, and it would come together so quickly.
Every single department, you just see them watch what's happening and then make their adjustments for their speciality. And suddenly, before you know it, all of these elements are working perfectly together. Just looking at the scope of what we were trying to do, I was like, I can't believe this is what we're trying. But if you get everybody rowing in the same direction, it's actually possible. And I don't know any other director who would try
it. Theaters this weekend. So if you're interested, just know it's coming this weekend. All right, next up we got Avatar Aang, The Last Airbender. This is the animated movie about Aang and them all grown up. This is the one that leaked earlier this year. This one that leaked online. So might have allegedly seeded one of the greatest shows of all time. That they somehow they say that, but
I'm the
didn't release the
last
shit in theaters.
Airbender.
You may be the last airbender, but you're not alone.
I'm the Avatar. I found allies from every nation. And together, we ended the 100-Year War.
Aang, because of you.
It's so funny. Every single one of these fucking little excerpts they have just goes to show, like, then why the fuck didn't you release this in theaters?
All of the nations live together.
Would have totally wanted to go see this in theaters.
In peace and harmony.
All
except not able to put the shit on fucking Paramount Plus.
An airbender.
My senses tell me this guy is pretty attractive.
What does attractive even mean?
Just give me a straight confirmation. Is he attractive?
He's very attractive. Huh? What? He is. It's all in the bone structure.
Aang, you and I can heal the past. And together, we can build a new world.
Welcome to Team Avatar.
How many countless were killed in the 100 years waiting for his return? If we want anything to change, we need what the Benders have. Power.
This isn't the way! We can bring back balance! Peace! I promise you I'll fix it.
We'll fix it. Together.
There you go. Hold on. Wait. We gotta do this for the last. You gotta do this for the jokes. Let's see. Comments turned off. They knew what the fuck was going on. Oh, put it on a fucking YouTube kids thing. Okay, all right. Get there about. Up next is what the fuck is this? Oh, idiots. This is idiots. Two unqualified bozos are hired to transfer a rich teen to rehab when their straightforward gig quickly spirals into dangerous mayhem.
Come on. Okay.
It's your car, man. It's not mine.
Come on.
Get out of the car! Oh, boys.
Peter Dinklage.
You know what we do here? Drive rich kids to rehab.
It's your drug of choice.
I've done acid over 20 times.
Oh, baby. Legally insane.
Mark.
Be very careful.
We treat all of our clients with the utmost care.
You're gonna be fine.
I mean, be careful of him.
The kid's a maniac.
He's famous for it.
What the?
I'd make a blood hex on you.
Oh, shit. I'm so sorry.
Are you familiar with the philosophy that everyone's just doing the best they can?
Gonna just toss your pants, okay?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Rashid. Appreciate you, man. We're all doing our best here, sir.
So you were like the transporter?
Yeah. Yeah, I am like the transporter.
Seems It's fun. You know, nothing too crazy. It's like an interesting thing I catch on streaming or something. This is an older one. Your mother. I just saw Mahershala Ali, so I clicked. For writer director Basim Tariq, your mother stars Academy Award winner Mahershala Ali. That's all we get. So this is gonna be one of them teasiest of teaser trailers. Orion's still around?
A man came to the prophet and asked, "Who is most beloved to us after you?" The prophet said, "Your mother." The man asked, "Then who?" The prophet said, "Your mother again." "Then who?" The prophet replied, "Your mother." 3 times? Yeah. The man asked again, "Who is next?" And the prophet replied, "And then your father."
It's like a revenge film. Got some Tarek. Didn't he do Bad Boys? Is that the same person I'm thinking of? Hold on. Oh, he was supposed to do Blade. Maybe that's why I think his name sounds familiar. He was attached to do Blade for a while. One of like the fucking 5 directors attached to do that. It's like, I know I've seen this name somewhere. This is a goddamn shame, man. This is a goddamn shame. All right, next up we've got... Oh, this is our last one. The Dune Part 3 trailer. Let's see what we got. Forgive me for all I've done to experience the epic conclusion. Oh, we read this. We read this already. We just go get to watching it.
I trusted you! You promised me that you would never take power in your name. You convinced me that this was your home. That I was your home.
What do you know about me?
What you know about me?
You've conquered the galaxy. You've destroyed thousands of worlds.
What are your thoughts on that?
I think you're way beyond redemption.
Why are you here?
I can't lie, I did read the description, but it's just kind of dawning on me now. As somebody who hasn't seen the movies yet, I saw part 1, or maybe half of part 1. I haven't seen part 2. The fact that he kind of becomes the bad guy in this whole thing, I haven't read the books either, or seen the original 80s Dune. The fact he becomes like a bad guy is kind of shocking.
To deliver a peace proposal.
Unexpected.
Peace is a good thing. Why should I refuse?
Because it's meant to destroy you.
We plan to strike at the core of Imperial power.
You intend to kill Paul?
Regime change.
Idiot. You've just signed our death warrants.
I found someone.
Feel to be human like everyone else, Paul Atreides.
You have no fear, do you?
I fear dishonor.
You sound like an Atreides.
I've been told I was one.
Chalamet. Oh shit, I forgot about Isaac the Bankroll. All right, and there you have it. Oh yeah, I forgot about this fucking trailer. I'm gonna watch this. I heard good things about this. Werewolf. Do not dread the darkness, embrace it. Robert Eggers' Werewolf. Only in theaters this Christmas. Robert Eggers. Did they do were they the ones who directed Nosferatu? Oh yeah, it was. Nosferatu was fire.
Child of God, come.
Do not dread the darkness. Embrace it.
Yep, seems like this motherfucker gonna be just as freaky as.
I heard of a raving beast that ravished this country.
Keep my husband safe from his cursedness.
Thy soul is cursed. Thy kin are cursed. Thy world is cursed.
Wolfman shit. This nigga doing like his own little cinematic universe shit. The monsters. This is universe. No, this is Focus, not Universal. He's doing the dark. Yeah, I just said this nigga doing the dark universe on his own, bro. He said, "Fuck it, I'll do it." All right, and with that, that is the end. I'm glad I watched that. That trailer was fire. That is it for this edition of movie news. Like I said, I don't think this was shorter than I usually do. But I think it's supposed to be gonna do like 1-2 stories that we really kind of speak on and elaborate with, and it would just kind of breeze through the other ones and then watch some trailers at the end. But anyway, that is it for this episode of News Drop. Make sure you look out for the TV and the gaming news coming later on in the weeks. Make sure you check out my other thing. A lot of shit's been happening in gaming, so if you're interested in gaming, go check out my other videos I did about them, where I talk about kind of Xbox's reset and kind of the layoffs and the studio decisions they made, and then I'll talk about how low key a lot of the shit going on in the gaming space is our fault. It's your fault. Yeah, you watching this video, it's your fault. It's all our fault, but mostly yours. But anyway, yeah, go check those out if you want to. And in the meantime, everybody, always remember to stay watching, stay playing, stay awesome, most importantly, to stay safe out there. Until next time, everybody, I will speak to you all later. Deuces.